Hi ladies of CrossFit Kali and welcome to my kitchen. The recipe I'm going to make today is called Swoodles with Bacon. It's a recipe that I found on Nom Nom Paleo about a year ago. We make this recipe all the time in my house, easily 1 to 2 times a month. For ingredients, the first thing you'll need is 2 pounds of white flesh sweet potatoes. In the grocery store, these are often labeled as Jersey potatoes.
Jersey!
Where are my potatoes? The next ingredient you'll need is 1 small yellow onion. The next ingredient you need is carrots. The recipe calls for 2 carrots, though I typically put in 4 to 5 carrots. Carrots, please. Thank you. And last but not least, you'll need a half pound of bacon, but just go ahead and make a pound because you'll end up eating it all. Why, thank you.
I didn't.
So now I'm going to go ahead and get the bacon on the pan so we can get that bacon in the oven.
This is the pan.
We like Applegate Natural uncured Sunday morning bacon. It's sugar-free.
It's super good.
Okay, so I'm putting the last piece on. I'm going to put this in the oven at 375 for about 10 minutes, then I'll check it, flip it. Everyone knows when their bacon's done. Next, while the bacon is cooking, I'm going to start peeling the vegetables.
So next you should crack the onion, and if you cry, it's okay because if you have a kid and they have goggles, you can use their goggles so you can prevent crying.
So one key thing to note is do not dispose of your bacon grease. However you do that, because we're going to be adding some of it to the final product before it goes in the oven. Okay, now I'm going to start chopping the vegetables. The recipe actually calls for you to spiralize all of them, hence swoodle, noodle. That is far too time consuming for me, so what I do is I chop them into pieces and then I put it in the shredder attachment of my food processor.
Okay, so I have this rolling pin for the food processor. Because you have your thingies and you put them in and you can't, and they won't go in all the way, and you've lost your thing to push all the vegetables down, you can grab your rolling pin. So with one of the handles, you just put it down there and just let it go get smushed.
So this next part is really tricky because you have a pound of freshly cooked bacon, nice and warm, sitting on your counter, and everybody in your family is like,
Can I have some bacon?
1 piece.
Save a piece for me!
Now I'm going to take all the bacon and chop it up into small pieces and put it into a bowl. This will be added to the swoodles after they're cooked. So the last step to prepare the swoodles before they get baked in the oven is to add oil. The recipe actually says to add all of the bacon grease, but I find that that's just way too heavy and actually it really makes my stomach hurt. So I do a combination. You need 1/3 cup liquid, so I do half bacon grease and half avocado oil. So now I'm going to pour this in. The recipe calls for 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I just wing it. And then pepper, and you're going to mix it up. All right, it's time to get these swoodles in the oven. I am going to put them on a nonstick pan. And you want to do 1 thin layer so that they kind of cook equally. All right, let's get our swoodles cooking. We're making these for about 30 to 45 minutes. So I just want to stir these every 15 minutes and then they go back in. And what we're looking for is the swoodles are going to start browning, so you'll see they'll start browning on the edge first, which is why it's so important to mix them up because in 30 to 45 minutes we want like a really nice crispy swoodle. There we go. go. Hey, bada bing, bada boom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all the Swoodles out of the pan. They're nice and crispy, they're perfect. And I'm going to put them in a bowl. Okay, so as you can see, I now have all the Swoodles. They're beautiful golden colored in the bowl. I'm going to put the final touches on them. In this bowl I have 2 tablespoons of chopped chives and 2 tablespoons of chopped Italian parsley. I'm going to throw that in. Okay, so we're dumping that bacon in the bowl. We're going to squeeze a fresh lime into here. Okay, mix it up. These look awesome. I have an egg cooking for her, so I'm going to throw the egg on. I'm going to throw a little Italian parsley on top to make it look nice, and there you go, Swoodles with fried eggs.
Delicioso. Blech. I'm done. Can I have dessert now?
Oh.
Yes. Yes.